Alright guys, I'm just going to jump right into the tutorial today. For foundation, I'm using the Maybelline foundation in the color 128 Warm Nude. And then I'm going to be going in with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the color Light Neutral. To set my concealer, I'm going to be going in with the Tarte Amazonian Clay Press Finishing Powder just to make sure nothing creases and that I have a nice base.
Baby, don't you know it's a remedy,
So now I'm just going into the middle shade of my IT Cosmetics Youth Sculpted Universal Contouring Palette, and I'm just going into that middle shade with my Morphe 433 blending brush, and I'm just using this kind of brown as a transition color. So I'm applying it into my crease line and then just a little bit above my crease, so I make my eyes look a little bit more recessed and bigger. Then I'll be going in with that same Morphe 433 blending brush into the Morphe 35P palette, and I'll be dipping it into this warm tone and cool tone brown and mixing those together, and then just putting that right over my transition shade. Then back into the Morphe palette. Again, I'm going to be taking the black this time and mixing it with the cool tone brown. And I'm just going to be applying my brush, but I'm going to be putting it flat and kind of on an angle and kind of just stamping out where I want the black to go as a shadow. So I'm first going to just do it on both sides and make it even, and then taking this dual-ended Heavenly Luxe IT Cosmetic blending brush, I'm just going to use this kind of to diffuse the color a little bit. And don't worry if it gets messy, we're going to be cleaning it up later, so it can be a little bit messy and kind of muddy looking. Just as long as you get the edges blending out, that's kind of what we're looking for.
burning like I do under my tattoos. It's a remedy, and the way you go, baby, don't you know there's a remedy, yeah. It's a remedy, oh no, darling, Palooza, ain't gonna lose ya. I'm gonna do that, darling, Palooza, ain't gonna lose ya.
Now to create a half cut crease, I'm going to be going in with this white Special Effects face and body paint from NYX Cosmetics, and I'm using a synthetic flat shader brush, and I'm just going to be using this to kind of set out my kind of half cut crease here, and I'm just going to be applying this into the inner corner of the eye and then stopping about a third way outward. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to be applying glitter on top, and I really want the glitter to stand out really nice and have a really kind of sharp edge. So I'm just going to be applying this to each eye. And I'm using a synthetic brush because it's just easier for me to maneuver kind of the body paint. And I take it right up to the crease, right up into the inner corner, and then I just kind of lightly diffuse the ends.
I tried giving you my heart. Now I know you didn't want it. Thought that we could work.
Okay, so for the glitter, I went in with the Stila liquid eyeshadow. This is in the color Diamond Dust, and I tried using the brush to apply it first, but it wasn't kind of applying the way I wanted to. So I went back in with the dough applicator that came with the eyeshadow, and I just started packing on the pigment from the corner of the eye and gently kind of faded it towards the outer corner of the eye.
Somebody else. Now I don't want nothing to do with you. It's alright, it's okay. I don't need you anyway, so let me be. I'm doing fine. Don't you waste your precious time. I don't want you back. No, you hurt me bad. It's alright.
Okay, now I'm going back in with that Morphe blending brush in the black eyeshadow, and I'm just kind of bringing back some of the pigmentation that I lost, just lightly kind of stamping it into the outer corner and a little bit of the crease. Then I'm going to be going back into the Morphe palette using a pencil brush, And I'm going to be dipping it into the black and the gray eyeshadow this time, and then putting that into the actual socket line of my crease just to kind of define it a little bit more.
To do with you. It's alright, it's okay. I don't need you anyway, so let me.
Then I'm going in and lining the upper lids using the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in the color black. And I'm just giving it a little bit of a wing because I will be applying fake lashes later, and it is easier to disguise the band and kind of just give my eye a little bit more length and definition. Now I just wanted to blend out the edges a little bit more where the black and the glitter were meeting, so I just took a synthetic flat brush and just kind of took the color and kind of dragged it outward. There's no eyeshadow on this brush. It just felt like it blended out a little bit more easier. Now taking a flat shader brush, I guess another Morphe brush, I'm just going to be dipping it into the warm tone and cool tone brown and just using this on my lower lash line and kind of dragging it down just a little bit to give my lashes a little bit more definition. Next I'm going in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara, and this is in the color Carbo Black, and I'm just going to be coating my upper and lower lash line with it. Now I'm going in with a lip brush and the NYX SFX Cream Contour Face and Body Paint in the color Black. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of applying this into the center of my lips, and then I just kind of took it right to the corner of my mouth and extended the corners of my mouth out equally on both sides. Then I went in with this NYX pencil, and what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of just creating a contour line, and I'm using white to outline everything first before I go in and shade it with black. So right now I'm just kind of finding where the top of my cheekbones would be, and I'm kind of just looping them right down to connect with the outer part of my mouth, or my fake extended mouth in this case. Alright guys, so the easiest way to kind of make your teeth is what you want to start off with is start off with the pencil and make a line from the middle of your cupid's bow going down both your top lip line over your bottom lip line, and then stopping just a little bit above your chin. And then once you have that center line, you're going to make equal lines on each side of your face, and then that's the easiest way to kind of get the outline for your teeth. So here I'm just going back in and kind of darkening up the lines now that I realize they're evenly spaced, and that's going to be the easiest way to kind of draw the teeth. Next I'm going to be going in and kind of doing like a little upside down shaped heart, and this is going to be for the hollow of my nose, so I'll paint black later. Then I'm going to be starting on the side of the skull. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make like a thinner line starting from my earlobe and then bringing it back up, and then making a second line and bringing it kind of down to my jaw, and then putting like a little half moon on each side. Now I'm just kind of adding some more random lines, and then I'm kind of outlining the hollows of my temples. I went a little bit too big, and they're kind of way above my actual temples, so just use your own temples on your face as basically a template for where the hollows of your temples should be. A lot of temples in that sentence. Alrighty, we're going to go in, and I'm going to be taking this really flat shader brush. Again, it's synthetic, it's from Morphe, it came in a kit, they're all vegan. And I'm going to be taking the light gray, and what I'm going to be doing is first I'm going to be gently kind of just going over the first contour line that we made. I'm just going to be following that right down to the outer corner where I extended it from my lip. So I'm just going to go in and do the other side, and then I'm going to kind of just define those little half moons there. Then next I'll be moving on to doing the outline of my nose, and you'll see it a little bit better once it's darker. I know it's kind of hard to see right now considering it is white. So basically it's kind of like an upside down W or an M, but just kind of see how I'm kind of making the nose there with 2 points, one longer than the other, and then I'm going in with the black body paint and I'm just kind of filling that in. And it's not doing a very good job, so I went back in and I did some black eyeshadow on top of it later on. Now I'm taking out this big blending brush. This is a MAC 286 blending brush. It's actually a dual stipple brush, and I'm just going in and kind of diffusing that line. There's no product on my brush at the moment. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you some blending brushes that I'm using, kind of different sizes to kind of get the shading down. So I'm going in with the Cool Tone Brown shade and that Morphe M433 brush. And what I'm going to do is kind of mix the cool tone with the warm tone again and go in and I'm going to start my shading process. So basically I'm just going over the blended line and I'm kind of just taking the brush and taking my time and going back and forth. And basically what we're doing is we're creating the kind of hollows. I really want these kind of contour line to pop, but I want to kind of make it look 3D. So I also drag it down into the little half moon shape here. Now I'm going back in with that MAC 286 blending brush and just kind of blending it all out. Again, there's no excess product or any product on this brush. I'm just blending out what we have just placed on our face. Next, I'm going to be taking the warm color brown and mixing it in with kind of like this skin tone color. And I'm using the Luxie 207 medium angled shading blending brush. And what I'm just going to be doing is kind of extending and going on the outside corner and kind of just blending over the colors I already did. I just want to make sure everything is kind of really smooth and kind of seamless here. So I'm just kind of taking my time and going over everything. Alright, now I'm taking a really thin, kind of smooth, tiny pointed brush. This is again from that vegan set from NYX. It's a synthetic brush. I'm taking it into the black paint and I'm just going over the outlines and I'm just lightly doing kind of a light, kind of smooth line first, and then I go back in and kind of darken it up just to make sure it's nice and crisp. So when you're doing your outline and getting your definition in, just make sure the more time you take and the slower you go, the easier time you'll have. Okay, so I have to split this video up in two because YouTube won't let me do anything past 15 minutes at the current moment. So stay tuned for part 2 for this video. It's going to be linked below in the description box, and that's where we just finish up the skull, add some crystals, some lashes, and you're almost there. I think the next video is just a little bit longer at another 14 minutes. So guys, stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one.